All right, you're playing with the black pieces here. You're a pawn up in this endgame. So I would like to know what to play with black in this position. I'll quiz you on this one. We'll see who finds the best way to continue here. Okay, I'll give you just 1 minute for this quiz. It's not so difficult. So black to play. Just let me know how you would continue in this game, this position. Okay. I'm not asking you to win the game, just interested in which would be the best path to go. All right, Amazon, Mega Charles Rex, Pikachu, Hacker Guru, Aditya, Tori Chess, Google Chess, all of you played what they played in the game, and that's not good news for you. So the winners so far, Amazon, Mega Charles Rex, Titan Chess, Quacky, Eric. And Roger, yeah, your move is okay. Roger, maybe. Maybe yes, maybe not. We'll see, we'll see. So, RZ, you also fell into my devilish trap, or well, devilish trap by what? Hi, Greg, how are you?
Hey, could I take over? I just have to give somebody access to the room.
Let me tell you that I already gave access to some people, but
there's somebody I have to add.
If you like, yeah, sure.
They sent
go
me
ahead, go ahead.
I'll be right,
be
right back.
Be my guest, be my guest.
I forget how to do it.
Oh, you don't remember how to do it? No, it's very simple, I think. Yeah. You go to
the options I usually do.
Room access, I think. Right?
Yeah, here's it. That's weird. I don't see it like I usually do.
Maybe they have changed something in the interface.
One moment.
So meanwhile, Greg is looking into the technical stuff. All of you think about why did we look at this position? It looks uninteresting. All right.
Sorry, everybody. Right, you're back.
All right.
Sorry about the delay.
No problem at all. The only bad thing is that I cannot see anymore who got it right and who got it wrong. Amazon, I know Amazon was one of the first players. So Amazon, you're on. How did you continue with black here? What was your choice? So I gave you the pawn. You can just play out the moves, right? That's the great thing about this chessable interface. Exactly. Don't write it in the chat. Just play it out. Exactly. Knight c1. Now the pawn is starting to run. There is some threat with knight b3 maybe. So knight takes a4. You can play here knight e2 and you pick up this pawn. But most probably white will make a draw here. I think white can make a draw here. They're a pawn down, but it will take quite a while for the black knight to attack this pawn, and also white's knight can approach. So, okay, black keeps some chances for a win in practical chess, but it's probably going to be a draw. I mean, white can also go home with the king, right? And they will probably make it. The pawn structure is not ideal for black in the sense that once they take, still it's difficult for them to create a passed one and so on. So, why did I bring up this example? I should ask Amazon, why didn't you play instead the move a3? Isn't that smarter, just to run with a passed pawn, don't you think? Passed pawn should move forward, they say. What about a3? You must have thought about this. Aha, Titan Chess saw this. Exactly. Exactly. So we play knight e3. This is one thing which is important for you to understand, not only in the endgame, but also in the middle game, for example. Knights can dominate each other in this way. When they are placed on colors of the same, squares of the same color, this can happen. Knights can dominate each other. And in this case, unfortunately, black, despite being a healthy pawn up, they're completely lost here because white is simply going to pick up the knight. That's what happened in the game. Black resigned. So this is a real endgame blunder, you can say. It's a real endgame blunder. Black could make a draw in different ways, but yeah, the smartest one is to pick up a pawn in this way, right, with knight c1 and knight e2. However, a3, it's a very, very bad mistake because black simply forgot the fact that white can trap the knight. So, no matter what you play here, king d6, I can play king c4, and no way black can really save themselves here. Yeah, something like this maybe, and knight e5, and you pick up the pawn. And yeah, practical thing that you defend both of them. So please, careful. This is materialism. Black wanted to keep their passed pawn at any cost. I can see that several of you guys wanted to do the same thing. In that way, you actually lose a game. Knights on the rim are grim. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. Of course, if there was another rank, I mean, to the right of the board, the knight would not be trapped. But yeah, it's something to consider. I must say it's not a very, very common picture. I must say I'm much more used to the fact that when you have a bishop on d2, which is what I call the magic distance, I would say that is much more typical, but it's not so common to see this picture. So careful whenever you're about to save a pawn. Remember, this might actually cost you something more. All right, let's have a look at our next example. A very common endgame situation when the rook fights against one or two pawns. That's what we have here. All right. This endgame between Savchenko with white pieces and Nomin Erdene playing black. So these pawns are going that way, by the way. All right. It's your move, guys. I would like to know which do you think is the best way to continue with black here. Please notice that there are different ways in which you can continue here. So just try to pick one of those which are saving black. Yeah, the mission is to save black. 1 minute 30 should be enough, okay? Black to play and try to find a way to save themselves here, okay? So, well, I'll say this a little later. I'll just say, remember which is the topic of today's lesson, okay? Which is the topic that we're speaking about today and for the two last sessions also. All right. We have some different answers here. Yeah, Titan Chess, Quacky, and Mega Charles Rex, that's perfectly fine. Awesome Owen, I wouldn't put my king in the way for my pawn, though, if I can avoid that. And we have a little group here. Hacker Guru, Little Grandmaster, Strategic Symbol, Charles Hua, Tori Chess, and Google Chess, who did the same thing as black in this game. Unfortunately, that's not good news. This is another endgame blunder, okay? Sometimes the most natural move isn't the best choice. I'm pretty sure all of you have experienced that at some occasion. All right. Yeah, Troy Boy and Alg, that's a very clever idea also. Yeah, you move the king that way so that you, what is the word in English? Disrupt my king? No, distract my king. Yeah, obstruct my king. Sorry, shoulder. Yeah, sorry for bad English. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students who wanted to play king g4, protecting the pawn. And that's what black played in the game. And then we have some other answers here. So let's listen to Troy Boy, for example. All right, Troy Boy, you can show your solution here, how to play with black. All right, so notice here, Troy Boy doesn't care about his pawn on h5. Black only needs one pawn to make a draw. So if I take this pawn, you can just continue your plan. My king is very far away, right? Yeah, not so much to think about. Just a matter of moving the king and the pawn forwards without obstructing the pawn, hopefully. Yeah, no way you can go wrong here. I think one of those moves should be just fine. Okay, I can play like this maybe just to check what you're doing. And yeah, no way black can misplay it here, right? Well, what happened, Troy Boy? I think we messed it up. White was very fortunate to win here. Is that so? Probably we should go a little back. Anyone who would like to rescue Troy Boy here? Yeah, it's better to... Yeah, Mega Charles Rex King G4. And actually that makes sense because I don't have the option of Rook F5 anymore. So I guess if I just try the same thing, yeah, you can do King G4 as well. Aha. I guess this works, right? Troy Boy, you can continue if you like. Second chance to draw with black here. Right? Aha. So now somehow white lost the tempo in this process, and you will make a draw here by one tempo. I mean, this endgame is interesting because almost always it's just about one tempo in each and every occasion. All right, so this is the way in which we can make a draw here. That's the smartest way, to just play f5, give up one of the pawns in order to run with the other pawn. But it appears that it's actually important to play king g4 here, to win a tempo. But also, like some people were saying, you can also shoulder the white king. So, I mean, once you choose which is the best way to go, if we consider the location of the white king, it might make sense to go the other way, right? You could go this way instead. So if I try the same little trick, we will see that, unfortunately, in this position, I mean, in the other position with the king on g3, we could play king e4, but now this is not possible. King e2, king e4, and king all seem winning. How is that, Troy boy? King e2? I don't follow. Drawing, you mean, right? Not winning. Or winning half a point. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, white cannot progress here. Their king is unfortunately obstructed by the black king. What happened in the game? Well, the same thing that some of you were saying. In the game, they played the move king g4. In the game, they played king g4 and white. Yeah, anyone. Should we ask somebody else? Anyone would like to play with white here? Anyone is up for the challenge? White to play Titan chess. But we already had Titan chess. Yeah, Mega Shorts Rex. Okay, Mega Shorts. Or Little Grandmaster. Yeah, Little Grandmaster appeared here. Okay, Little Grandmaster, go for it. Show your GM class. How do you win with white here? Black has just played a dreadful mistake. King g4, slowing down their counterplay. So it's your move, Little Grandmaster. Rook g8. Oh, but that was surprising. I thought it was time to approach the king. Are you sure that's the right move? Okay, Eric, you will do this instead. Okay, we'll have Eric playing with the white pieces. All right. Yeah, once you can do this, just bring in the king. No, king first is how I refer to this idea. All right, go for it, Eric. Exactly. We bring in the king as far as we can. Our rook is already in the best possible place, placed behind the most dangerous pawn. I play king g3. Now I would like to put my king on f2. Eric won't let that happen. And here we have this typical little trick. You should let them... Exactly. Yeah, Eric knows about this. I must now promote to a knight. You can use this magic distance. And that's exactly how the game went. And you will win this game very soon. The rook pawn is the worst pawn to have in the king pawn for king rook because the king gets stuck. Yeah, and the knight gets stuck also. So I mean, if there was an I file, I could play knight I3, right, at this point, and I would most probably make a draw. But here I don't have this move, so very difficult for black to save this game. Okay, you can play this game. When I was a kid, they taught me to play like this. I give this check and I come here, some kind of pendulum maneuver. So black must go back and you can then pick up the pawn. But yours is also fine. And then you have rook h1. King g1, you can just lose a tempo here and you will win the game very soon, right? Something like, what would it be? Anyone? Rook a7, maybe? Or which do you think is the best path for white? I also think so. All right. Give check. Very nice. So now the knight is definitely doomed and white wins. Somebody is saying something in the chat. By the way, thanks guys. Today I can see that we have much nicer atmosphere in the chat. You're speaking about chess only. That's very nice. So what was the question here? If the f-pawn was gone, would it be a draw? No, the f-pawn is not important, I think. You will always win in this game, in this endgame. Once you have these pieces like that. But it's enough just to put the king and the knight, I think, one step up, and black would probably make a draw because they have more space for their pieces. Anyway, back to the topic. This is what we have seen here. Black played the materialistic move, king g4, and they were duly punished, just like Eric showed us. We should just bring in the king, and in the end, we have this very nice scenario where we let them queen. I mean, not exactly queen. We let them promote, but thanks to the knight being on h1, another badly placed knight, right? We will win this game. How could we make a draw? Well, there are several ways, but the smartest one is just to push this pawn as soon as possible. My main line here was with king c6, but okay, it's basically the same thing. There are many ways in which you can make a draw here. One of them is just to push this pawn, and we play king e3. We give up this pawn and we run with the other pawn. As you can see right now, we're obstructing their king. If they play rook e8, we can simply go back. And here, definitely, we're happy to have the second pawn. Else, we would be lost here, I think. All right, so let's continue. Remember, this is about reflexes. No reflex, king g4, protect the pawn, you lose the game. In the other game, a3 reflex to move the passed pawn forward, and we lose the game also. So careful with those reflexes. Think twice before you defend one of your pawns. All right, let's have a look at our next example. This is a more recent game with some more pieces on the board. Endgames, it's not only about these positions with few pieces. There are also pieces, endgames with much more pieces. Here we have one example. It's like a late middle game, you could say. White has just played the move here, rook h4. All right. I would like to know how you think that black should cope with this situation, some kind of French position. So here we go. I'll just give you one hint. You might not be able to equalize 100%, okay? But you should simply try to do the best out of it. Even if you don't equalize, don't worry. The important thing is to keep the game going, no? To get the best that you can. So I'll give you 2 minutes this time. You will have a little more time this time. Try to find a way in which black can keep up the fight here in this slightly complex position. Okay, black to play and do the best that they can. All right, Titan chess. That's fine. Your variation is perfectly okay. Much better than what black played in the game. Yeah, I can give you maybe half a point for that. Strategic Simmer, Eric, and Hacker Guru, Al, HTI Chess. That's the right spirit in any case. Yeah, that's the right spirit. All right. You passed. But Titan chess is closer. JM chess, that's also fine. Your variation, I think. There is not only one solution. There are several ways that you can play here. And I can say that by now you're cured. Nobody's playing the move that I played in the game. I think so far we're doing great progress here. Okay, we have one student. I won't give any names. We have one student who has played what they played in the game. As usual, it's not a success in this class, at least. All right, so... Oh, really? Can you play that move, little Grandmaster? Are you sure? Against your move, little Grandmaster, I would play rook d3. Just for the record, I'll play rook d3 there. Blue Ocean, I'm playing rook d3. So, Titan Chess, Troy Boy, and Pikachu, you're the ones who got very close. Tori Chess, you're on the right track, but I think you're blundering a pawn there in the end, aren't you? I'll take that rook, and I'll take the pawn on f7 as well. But anyway, you were very close. Aha. Oh, you still have the pawn, Eric. Sorry, I didn't see that. No, you don't have it anymore, right? All right, we'll see. Nice. So let's see if we can. Oh, RZ 2018. You also found it. Yeah, Eric, you made a good conclusion there. But it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Let's listen to Pikachu. All right, Pikachu, you're on. How would you continue with black here? Aha, rook f8. One question for you, Pikachu. Why do you choose this rook and not the other one? What might be the difference?
I chose the f rook because I wanted to give my king a bit more space.
All right.
If I have the other rook, then my king might be a bit more enclosed.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good explanation. Excellent. Rook f8, I think this is the best move. We lose a pawn now. However, we're fighting for the only open file in the position. Let's have a look at, how this can continue. I did some analysis here I'll take your pawn. You're now a pawn down. However, all your pieces are in good places. Rook h3, you can continue in different ways, but you picked the one that I thought was the strongest one. Now we're able to seize the open file, but also we're able to deflect the bishop from this diagonal, which should be good for us, no? So after bishop d1, you have two choices. I'm still not completely sure which is the best one, but I think I lean towards the move that you said. What was your move, Pikachu? Oh, rook d8. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's okay. My only issue with rook d8 is that white can play rook d3. And I'm not happy to swap rooks here. Usually when we're a pawn down in the endgame, we love to keep exactly the rooks on the board, at least one pair of rooks. I'm not so happy about going for the minor piece endgame when I'm a pawn down. If I can keep the rooks, much better. So I think there is a better move. Yeah, Eric says bishop e4, Titan chess also, bishop e4. I think that's the best move here, possibly, in this position. Bishop e4 can be played to control the d3 square, or perhaps we could also play knight e4. So we put some pressure on this pawn on f2. If white plays f3, well, they're running into, well, I don't know, could we play knight f2 maybe? But also the rook is kind of a sad piece now, right? Yeah, I was just curious about this variation. Should we play knight f2 or actually, or knight might be trapped after that? Yeah, maybe we shouldn't. So maybe something like knight e5, is that possible? Rook d3, king f6? Or am I think I'm losing the track here, right? Yeah, this is not a good idea. I think I managed to lose a whole knight here. Yeah, don't listen to me. There should be a better place for this knight, right? Where would you put the knight? Anyone? Which square do you like? Oh, we're speaking about something else now. Rook a8. Oh, I see. Interesting. We just ignore the knight. Okay. Nice idea. Yeah. So if bishop c2, we have to play knight f8, knight f6 then. Yeah, I like your plan, Titan chess. Yeah, now we're ready for rook d2. You can see that the move f3, it really harms white. They cannot use the rook anymore. So, sorry, are there any tactical problems long term with rook d8 as well? Rook d8, when is that, Troy boy? Do I follow your variation? I think you will have to help me there. I'm not following exactly at what moment, Troy boy. When would you like to play that? At the start of the puzzle, all right. Oh, so you mean if you play rook a8, the other rook? Yeah, the only problem with that is that, okay, I'll play the same way. And once you carry out your little variation, now the rook is here. So what does that mean? Yeah, maybe it doesn't mean, oh, okay, I understand. Titan chess says we give rook g3 check first. Yeah, I think that's right. Like an intermediate move. So black must play something like king h6. Now we take. It's a small detail, but I think it definitely makes some sense because now the pawn is, the rook is pinned to the defense of the pawn. It's stuck, exactly. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a worse version of the whole position. So if we play rook d8 instead, just for the record, so that everybody understands what we're speaking about. Now, if there is rook g3, we can simply play king f8, which is a good place for the king in anyway. Not right now, because there might be some idea with rook d7, but we will just stick to maybe to Troy's idea with rook d8, or maybe first we play the move knight e4, maybe. Who knows? We're still in the middle of a variation here. Anything can happen. Probably black does not have 100% compensation, but I would like to show you what happened in the game. What does Troy say? Though instead of king g7, I guess you're speaking again about rook a8, right? Is that so? So you want to take here and you want to play rook d8, but then I can take on f6, right? I'm netting a second pawn here. I don't think you can get away with that. So what was your point, Troy boy? I don't follow. If you play... Oh, you play king d7 now. Well, I'm getting confused here. Maybe you're right then. Yeah, maybe this is the same thing. That's what you say. But it's not the same thing, right? Because now if you play rook d8, I'll play rook d3. I'm happy to swap rooks. And if you play the move bishop e4, I get my tempo to play rook g3. Here I would like to have the rook on e8 so that I can play king f8. Well, that's my My way of seeing it. What did I miss, Troy Boy? Yeah, I don't follow. I was considering rook a8. Oh, rook e1. White will not take the pawn. I understand. Yeah, this looks interesting for white. Oh, I understand. You're going for a sacrifice here. But I don't think this works, right? Because I can play king h7 and your bishop is not around. So, yeah. Anyway, like I told you, both these moves are perfectly fine. It seems to me that technically it's better to go with this rook so that the king can get there. But look at what happened in the game. Black played the kind of move that we shouldn't play. That's the whole topic of this class. They played the move king g7. So anyone, why was that a bad move, king g7? After all, they're protecting the pawn. How could that move be bad? Protecting our beloved pawns. You're right, Titan says. That's what happened in the game. Rook d3. Actually, in retro perspective, you can see that white's main threat here, it's not to take the pawn, really. White's main threat is to play rook d3 and rook g3. Black didn't notice this, and after rook d3, it's actually impossible to save them already. Black is lost in this position. They tried in the game rook h8. Anyone, what do you think white played here? Or should I make this a quiz? All right, I'll make a quiz for you so that everybody wakes up. All right, a little quiz so that everybody wakes up. Here we go. I'll give you just 1 minute because it's so simple, okay? White to play and win. Let's see who is fastest here. Don't hang that rook, Amazon. Okay, HDI chess and strategic simmer, you got it in 10 seconds. I like that. That's fast thinking. All right, Mega Charles Rex, that's right. Alg, interesting idea of Alg. But I think there is something better. I get the point, Hacker Guru, but maybe I can play h5 there. And if you play rook g3, I'll play knight g4. Check, relying on the check on the h file. Maybe, I'm just saying maybe. Eric, you dropped the exchange there, careful. Troy Boy, that's a very pretty move. Probably that works also, yeah. It's probably not anything wrong with your move. Aditya, that's a beautiful move, Aditya, but highly incorrect, no? I can just take the rook there and you end up a piece down. Interesting idea, Kugel chess. If king takes, you play rook g6. Yeah, you can have half a point for that, Kugel chess. Yeah, interesting. Maybe, or maybe I'm being too generous there. Wow, okay, let's listen to, most people got it right. So HDI chess, you're the fastest one. Please go ahead, how to win here with white. Rook g3, very beautiful cooperation between the white pieces. Now I must play king e7. Rook d7, attacking the pawn. There is only one way really I can protect it, with either rook. And finally I lose everything here. Right, knight g6, pretty simple way of winning the game. I don't know if there is any other way which would work. We had interesting suggestions here. Which was Aditya's? Somebody said rook g6. That's a very poetic move, but not really necessary here. Rook g6 is also, I think it's too clever. No, it's too clever. I can take and I can go back. So don't overdo it. No, once you have a winning advantage like here, no need to play flashy moves. No, it's enough just to carry out the most obvious tactical ideas. Is there anything else that we should speak about here? Okay, Troy said bishop g6. Yeah, I think your move is fine also. If you really want to play it that way, I think it will also work. Who had this interesting variation with? Let's see. Kugel chess. Yeah, Kugel chess at knight takes f7. So let's see Kugel chess. I think yours is fine also. If king takes, you wanted to play rook g6. I understand your idea. I was thinking about knight h5, but I guess you can just take and I'll take, and yeah, you'll play just knight g6. All right, Kugel chess. If you like that one more than the game, fair enough. But I stick to the solution here, by which most people were saying. So summing up, we had this difficult situation. No, just rook g7, not knight g6. All right. We had this difficult position. White played rook h4. Black was thinking that the main threat was rook takes h6, and they duly protected the pawn. So they saved the pawn, but they lost the game. White played rook d3, and they had a very, very strong attack. Please notice that somebody was saying here h5. Unfortunately, it's the same story. you can play here rook d3. Rook g3 is coming next. Unfortunately, combined with rook f4, there is no real good way for black to defend their position. However, if you play it the other way around, who said this, by the way? Who said this? Oh, my memory. Rook f4 was suggested by somebody. But here I think I can actually play in this way, knight g4. I think I have some chances of saving myself here. Maybe. Or maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, at least I have some idea with f5 and so on, h4 maybe. All right. However, white wins by simply bringing up the rook. All right. So what to do here? Instead of saving the pawn and losing the game, let's lose the pawn and try to save the game. So rook fd8, active defense, very important in endgames. Try to bring in the pieces, avoid white's attack. All right, let's move on. I'm afraid that the next one is well known for you, but yeah, never mind. You will refresh your memory. This game is from the recent World Cup game between Fedoseev and Karyakin. I'm pretty sure that many of you saw this game. It was a very interesting game. So you're playing with the black pieces here. I would like to know if you can find a way to defend black's slightly critical position here with the black pieces. Karyakin, known as one of the world's best defensive players, had no issues in finding a good way to save the game. All right. How many moves should I ask you for here? Let's see. Okay, we'll stop there. So you get 1 minute. Okay, you get 2 minutes, right? Black to play. And let's see if you can find the best defensive solution here for black in this slightly complicated position, okay? That's right, Eric. Maybe you saw the game, or you simply found very quickly the right solution. I think a Titan chess, Kugel, and strategic simmer, you're just giving up a pawn there. I don't think that's the right way to give up the pawn. But I understand your idea. Yeah, you want to play rook before next turn, right? I understand. But I'll take the pawn and... yeah, maybe half a point for you, okay? Half a point. What else? HDI chess going for a counterattack. Interesting. Aha, little grandmaster, that's okay, but you let me bring up my king. Maybe you shouldn't do that, right? What about that counterattack? We will have to check this. I guess I'll take the pawn and I play rook f1, HDI chess, the human person and star pawn. I take the pawn on c6 and I'll play rook f1. Do you really have enough counterplay there? I'm not convinced. Interesting move by Alg. Maybe I can play rook d6, Alg, against your move. Is that so? I get the point, Tori Chess. You're defending your pawns, but I think I have chances for an advantage there. We'll look into this very soon. So, most people found the right solution here. Eric, Mega Charles, Hacker Guru, Pikachu, and Troy Boy. You all got it right. So, let's listen to Hacker Guru. You're on, Hacker. How do you continue here with black pieces? Rook b4. So we don't make any effort to protect the pawn on c6. Instead, we go for a counterattack. All right, let's see first how Hacker Guru and Karyakin's variation works out. So we can see here that now white will pick up a pawn. They'll play rook c5, and black will lose the pawn on d5. However, black has a lot of counterplay. So what's your next move here, Hacker Guru? All right. Yeah, please stay to the subject in the chat, okay? a4, all right, I'll take the pawn. So white is a pawn up, but you can notice something interesting here. The pawn on h4 is very useful for restricting the white king. Aha, that's an interesting move. Yeah, I guess I have to play f3 then, right? And now we start active defense. Aha. I think it's okay. Probably your solution is okay also. It's not exactly how Karyakin played, but I think it might work also. Aha. It might work also, but we could maybe try to... Yeah, you're right, JM Chess. This is not the main line. Maybe it got a little more difficult than we wanted. No, I'm able to perhaps advance these pawns later on if you defend this pawn, for example. So yeah, I think we can improve this variation. Okay. Who was saying this? JM Chess. All right, JM Chess, you can take it from here. What would you play? I don't know. Oh, that's not a good answer. yeah, and never mind. I think you could play in the same way as in the game. I think you could continue in the same way. You can put the rook simply on a2, and after rook takes, you play a4, and it's not easy for white to progress in these positions. Thanks to this pawn on h4, it's difficult for white to progress here. So I think this is the easiest way to continue. After, let's say, rook a5, you can play a3, and not easy at all for white to progress in this position. If the king gets closer, we can maybe play something like f5, maybe gain some space and see how white can progress here. I mean, white would like to have their king like higher up on the board, but it's simply not possible. And if they start moving their pawns, well, they will have an issue with this pawn, and if this pawn moves, black can take and play rook d2 and so on. Wait, after the rook a1 variation. Okay, Mega Charles Rex, where are we? Here. Okay, you can have the pawn, Mega Charles Rex. What would you like to play? All right. So you imprison the white king. We start running with the pawn. That's exactly what we looked at, right? So it was okay, everything? All right. Oh, I see. Smart move. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Probably that's a better way to play. Nice. I'm not able to play rook d8 and d5 because actually the black pawn with queen. Good idea. Yeah. That's much simpler, definitely. So maybe that's another way to play. Rook f1, that's a smart move. I mean, I would consider also rook a2, just to stay close to the pawn. But yeah, rook f1, why not? I guess I will have to play something like this. And something like that happened in the game. Here the problem is, again, that black's rook is very active. It's difficult for white to progress. I can put the rook on d2, for example, and it's not so easy for white to progress anymore. The pawn cannot move, and also if the king gets closer, the pawn is attacked. So yeah, I think there are many ways to make a draw here, but this is more or less the kind of position that we're looking for in the game. We're a pawn down, but we're very active, and we're very happy that the pawn is on h4. Sorry, I have to repeat this again. If the pawn was not on h4, white could probably make progress by bringing in the king and slowly try to, improve their pieces, but now that's not possible. All right, what happened in the game? Rook b4, Fedoseev played instead of rook c5, he played here king f1. Yeah, that's what I had in the quiz, I guess. And after rook a2, rook c5, a4, rook takes d5, a3. We had exactly this kind of position. Fedoseev tried rook a5, and here was the move that I was talking about, f5. Very smart move, giving space and getting space, and also whenever white would like to play f3 and e4, black will like soften up their pawns, and it will be easier to attack those pawns later on. But white is a long way from making progress here. The game went something like this: d5, g5. Karyakin continued to gain space, and white was never able to win the game. I mean, they could have tried something like f3 also, but I guess in that case you can give check and you can just give check again, and it's not easy at all to progress with white. As far as I can see, it's difficult to progress here. Maybe we could just make like a waiting move here, right? So if they play something like e4, their pawns start to become a little exposed, right? You could play something like rook d2 or rook e2. Which one would be best? Rook d2 maybe. Yeah. So I guess, again, it's very hard for white to win this game. Black is very happy to have that active rook on the second rank. Please, good manners in the chat. Don't speak about irrelevant things. You can maybe meet later on in some other classroom and you can chat how much as you like. But right now, let's focus on chess instead, okay? So far we understood here rook b4 is the right way to go. We give up the pawn. We make sure that we have counterplay with our active rook. All right, now let's have a quick look at the other options here. Rook b6 would be like a passive defense. Rook b6, passive defense. The problem with this move, what do you think is the problem? Anyone? What do you think white would play here? How should white progress? We talked about this the other time. We talked about opening a new front, right? Some of you might remember that lesson. So we were saying that once we have like some front here to work on, these weak pawns, but it's not enough, black is defending, we should try to find a new front. Okay, Amazon, you're right. Yeah, please go ahead, Amazon, what's your move? Where is the new front? Oh, I think that's too clever. I'm not forced to take, you know. I'm not forced to take and let you have that passed pawn. I could play something like queen e2. It's the move which some people are saying, but I think this is a very good occasion for queen e2. Black is helped by this. I mean, if you play something like e5, I can maybe play rook b2, and I'm already fairly active here. So no, e4 is not the idea, I think. We were saying that this pawn is useful for restricting the white king in the rook endgame, right? However, after queen c5, very strong move, you can see what white is after. They are tying down black's pieces to the defense of these pawns, and at the same time, they're exactly Amazon, they're preparing queen e7. So I don't know how black is supposed to defend here. It's not easy, no? It's not easy to find a single move. I can play something like queen a7 to prevent it, but as you can see, white could now try to prepare in some way, something like queen d6, and we can get a little closer. We have some move coming up here also. The pawn might be hanging and so on. It's not easy to see how to defend with black. I'm not claiming that white has a forced win here. I'm just saying that black's task remains difficult. And the reason is that this is a pawn that white can attack. If it wasn't for that, probably black would be okay here. They could play something like queen b7, and if queen e5 check, you can just play something like king g8, I guess, and nothing is going on. But here white is going to win this pawn in some way, I think. Maybe they can play something like queen d8 instead, and if rook b1, well, I'm not 100% sure, but this is one possibility, right? Take and play king h2, and sometimes you can take this pawn, sometimes you can take that pawn. If you're able to take that pawn, of course, the a pawn will be very strong. So Troy Boy says rook b4 is worse, but might transpose. How do you mean, Troy Boy? Oh, you mean rook b4 here? Oh, I see. But now I think I'll go for an attack here. I go for an attack now. Now I'm the one attacking. I'll take the pawn and I'll try to hit the black king. So I guess, yeah, that's why it's worse. Exactly. Yeah, because now my queen is very active. So rook c4, I can play something like rook b1. Please notice that now the new front is the black king. We're playing 100% against the black king. So I think Karyakin's move, rook b4, was very well timed, just before white was able to bring in the pieces and attack. I mean, now you can see the difference here. If they play like this, I guess, yeah, what would you play with black here? Anyone? Exactly. We should just defend the pawn. Mega Charles Rex, you got it. Rook c4, and yeah, tempo up and black is fine. So, yeah, I think that's the correct way to look at this endgame. Black is in some trouble. It's better to give up a pawn in order to activate your pieces than to sit with the passive pieces, tying up your pieces to the defense of your pawns, letting white go for some kind of counterattack. All right, next example, same topic, but this one is more difficult. I should warn you that our next example is slightly more complex. So if you can defend black in our next example, you're probably a very good endgame player. If you can find this quickly in 2 minutes, then definitely endgames should be one of your greatest skills, because in this game black was not able to save it. They didn't find the right plan in the game. All right, so black to play and save themselves in this difficult endgame. Okay, black to play and hold. All right, let's give you 2 minutes for this mission. Who was black in this game? We have with the white pieces Kribel, I think grandmaster from Czech Republic, maybe, or Poland. Sorry, I'm not 100% sure. Mikrut with the black pieces. So take your time, guys. Take your time. This is a tricky one. It's easy to get it wrong. I can see several students are already sending moves. You shouldn't do that. You should take your time. All right? Yeah, so far we have 4 different suggestions and none is working, I'm afraid. Yeah, I get the point, Hacker Guru, Royale, and Amazon, but it's not going to work, you know. I'll take the pawn and I'll approach my king to your 8 pawn, okay? You will keep material balance, but you're doomed because my king is approaching the 8 pawn, okay? I get the point, strategic samurai, JHS, Quirky, Blue Ocean, but my king is very close to the B pawn, right? Yeah, I knew this was a difficult one, so nobody has found it so far. And in the game, they didn't find it either. Difficult, no? Rook endgames, one of the most difficult parts in chess, I would say. And it comes up all the time. It's one of the most frequent endgame types, right? Yeah, bad news. Nobody is close. Okay, JM Chess, you got it. You're very, very close. I am happy for you. You should just adjust the rook's angle, right? There is a better place for that rook. So definitely we have a winner on this one. Only okay, the human person also you were close, but JM Chess you got really close. So please go ahead, JM Chess, and show us how is your variation. Rook f3, but why on earth is the rook going there? It's not attacking anything. What might be the reason? Let's see. If I take this pawn, JM Chess. Yeah, they got it. Okay, please go ahead, JM Chess. What was your idea? Why did the rook go to f5? Hurry up. Yeah, I don't know what happened. JM Chess. Yeah, now he played rook f5. Please notice, I mean, this is very simple, simplistic, but once the kings are placed like this, it's often a good idea to give check, no? They cannot improve anymore. All right, please continue, JM Chess. Exactly. We target this pawn, and we are very close to making a draw here. If rook takes, you can see for yourself, we can safely take that pawn, and white is unable to attack this pawn with a king, because we will just continue to harass them with checks, right? Yeah, that's exactly how you should play. Just harass them with checks. White won't be able to progress here. You could even think about perhaps rook b3 at some point. Yeah, so I thought of that, but I thought it was losing. And why did you think it was losing, Amazon? I mean, this is not religion. You have to have some scientific beliefs, no? You have to see some variation. Why do you think it's losing? I mean, endgames are tricky. You can be a pawn down, but you can be perfectly safe. Okay, you forgot about the checks. I see. Yeah, this is important to understand. Sometimes our best choice in worse endgames is just to harass them with checks. But let's have a look at what happens if we take the other pawn instead, okay? Let's say we take the other pawn. That should be more critical, right? So please go ahead, JM Chess. Continue your variation, please. Or that's where you got it wrong. No, please remember, kings opposing each other. White would love to play rook g7. We should do the same thing with black, right? We should play rook f5. You're right, Amazon. That's the right move. It's very, very important to try to move away the white king before it goes further. Please notice that this is the pawn which white would like to bet on in this endgame. So king e4, anyone? What to play now? Exactly, Amazon, you're right. Rook h5, we're targeting this pawn, and also important, we are keeping control of the fifth rank so that the white king cannot cross it. So white doesn't have many constructive moves here. I mean, we could play rook g4, but you can guess for yourself what we should play here. Oh, Mega, you already posted this variation. Sorry. Rook h8. Why do you play rook h8? I don't follow. No need to, right? Your rook is in the perfect place. Who was black? Yeah, you can see the title, I hope, in the window. Kribel with white and Mikrut with the black pieces. Kribel, I think, a grandmaster. Mikrut, I'm not sure. So anyway, no matter who was playing here, what should black play? Anyone? If our rook is well placed, what does that mean? Yeah, that we shouldn't move it. King e7 says Amazon. Okay, I guess I would play like Titan chess. I would play king d6 instead. And it's very hard for white to make progress. Okay, I could try this little move, but it's not serious, no? What would you guys play? Yeah, okay, nobody fell in my silly trap, right? Nobody fell. So rook e5, of course, king f4, and I guess you won't fall in my other trap either, right? Don't get tricked. Yeah, nobody falls in my trick. Exactly, you can take with the rook here. And yeah, black should make a draw. After all, material is almost equal. I mean, it's equal, sorry. And yeah, you know, sometimes, I mean, if white plays something like this, yeah, you know what I mean. We can sometimes sacrifice for this pawn in the end and make sure that our king can move up and so on. This should be a draw. Yeah, exactly. So back to the beginning. We saw the right solution here. The only way to save black is this move, rook f3. We should play rook f5, put the rook on h5. But we had very few students who understood this. What did you guys look at? Well, some people are saying a5. I understand the idea, some kind of creating a pass pawn and so on. Unfortunately, our pieces are not well placed for this purpose. I can take the pawn, and as you can see for yourself, this is not good for black. They cannot trade this pawn for one of white's pawns, which would be ideal, but it's not possible because I can just defend this one and I'll take that one. And yeah, we should win. G5, how is that G5? Oh, Troy Boy says, I was thinking about A5, pawn takes, and B4. Yeah, very pretty idea, but I guess the material relation is not favoring you here. Would I play? Well, you made me think here. I should probably take the pawn, right? And you play B3. Well, anyone with a sharp tactical vision, can you see what's going on here? I understand your idea, Troy Boy. If I play rook B6, you can take and you can go and take that pawn, right? So maybe I made a mistake here, right? I should have played maybe A6. No, A6 is a very bad idea, right? I would then drop my rook. So what would you play here? Rook. Wow, interesting. New try. Rook takes. You have to play B3. And I mean, this is what the first move I would think of. But correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there is some dark side to this. If I bring in the king, maybe. Is that possible? King c4. Yeah, I guess that's a good move. Exactly. Yeah, excellent thinking by Mega Charlesrix. Yeah, I think so. So if b2, we can play rook b6, and they are not able to pick up that pawn. Yeah, they can pick up one of the pawns, but they cannot pick up both because we're just in time to protect it, right? Or what do you think? Or maybe I'm very passive here. Can black make a draw here? I don't know, really. Maybe they can, right? It's still a draw, says Amazon. Yeah, I'm starting to think the same thing. So, guys, what are we missing here? What are we missing? Yeah, we have to work this out. What about a5? Troy's idea. a5, pawn takes, and b4. Is this really a draw? Careful that black is threatening to take the pawn. Rook takes, and b3. Well, don't forget to have some intermediate check. I don't know if it's good for anything. Hard to believe that black can save themselves here. Rook b6. But we looked at rook b6 already. Rook b6, rook takes a5, and we pick up the pawn, right? a6, b2, rook b6. a6, b2, rook b6. Yeah. Rook takes a6, and Isn't it the same story? Oh, but now the king is... Now we should give this check, I think, right? We drive away the black king first. Then we pick up the pawn. Yeah, this I like much more. And we play rook h2. Is that so? This looks much more promising, right? Black is busted. I don't know. If you say so. I'm not... Endgames are never easy, but I guess this one looks very promising for white. Yeah, this one looks very promising. I can bring in my king then. Aha. All right. So... a5, very smart idea, but unfortunately it's not really working. Rook h3, some people are saying that's how the game went. I'm sorry, this is not a good idea. It's not a good idea because now we win the pawn, but the check against the white king will come one move later. So let's see how the game went, okay? They played here rook takes g6, rook takes h4, and simply king c5. So now you can see for yourself, the check comes one move too late. White can play d5, or they can even play, if they like, king b6. They're getting at this pawn, but d5 looks nice, right? To play rook d7 or even take the pawn. So yeah, black is lost here. They tried in the game rook h1, but it's it's over now. It's over because two pawns, right? Just for the record, B and D will always win. It's not like C and A, right? C and A will make a draw very often, but it's because the A pawn is a rook pawn, and these are not rook pawns. So, yeah, difficult exercise. But I think the best way to understand this actually is looking at the kings. Whenever the kings are placed like that, both sides would just love to give a check from the side. White would like to give a check like this or that, and black would love to give a check from that side. And the only way to achieve that is by playing this move, rook f3. You give up a pawn, you end up being a pawn down. However, you're very active here. And that's, after all, the important thing in this endgame. All right, so we have seen here a few cases where you play in an anti-materialistic way and you're able to save the game. And to finish off today's little class, I would like to show you the opposite situation, where you're playing for a win and you play in an anti-materialistic way in order to win the game. So we'll start this last part with a game by one of the strongest players in the US. And I know also he's doing great lectures here at the USCS, Sam Shankland. So here we go with this very nice endgame where we have with the white pieces Shankland and playing black is Svierz. All right, you're playing with the white pieces. Try to find the best way in which we can win this game with the white pieces. All right, I'll just quiz you for 2 moves. I think that will be enough. Okay, here we go. Let's go, Shankland. Yeah. How did white win this game? Which is the smartest way to progress here? Remember, bishops of opposite color, they can give a drawish tendency to the endgame. We should be careful. All right, good work by Royale, Hacker Guru, Eric, Titan Chess, and Mega Charles Rex. That's completely right. I'm looking if somebody plays the wrong move. Okay, so far nobody played the bad move. Okay, that's good. I think you're cured. Nobody is being materialistic anymore. Oh, we had one. No, we had no student. Yeah, I think we have one student, maybe, or maybe not. No, I think that's okay. Many ways you can win here. Only one way you can really destroy this endgame. But I'm happy that nobody has done that so far. Everybody understood what this is about. Please remember that in opposite color bishops endgames, it's difficult to control the color of the opposite bishop, right? So white should be careful with the blockade on the light squares, right? They should be careful not to let black create a blockade on the light squares. That would be tragical for white. All right, so I think time is up. Fastest one this time was Royale. Let's see what Royale says about this endgame. How did Sam Shankland take home this endgame? All right, Royale, go for it. F4. We don't have any intention to pick up this pawn. It's not important. We can always control that pawn with the bishop. Nobody got it wrong, I think, Amazon. I think everybody got it right. So in the game they played here king e8, and you can win in different ways. But that's the nicest way. That's what Shankland played also. It feels nice to put the pawns on that color, right? Like I was saying, this is the color which sometimes we have difficulties in controlling. So it makes sense to put the pawn there from the very beginning. King f7 was played in the game, and I guess you have studied this endgame, this kind of endgame at some point, many of you. So in the game, they just took the pawn and they played g5. Please notice that once the pawns have reached this rank, there is no way you can defend. Ideally, you would have the bishop placed on h7. However, even if you get there, you would be lost because you would be put in Zugzwang. I could redirect my bishop to the long diagonal, and I'll put something like this. I'll put my king on f4. I'll put my bishop on f6. Would that make sense? Yeah, I mean, even if you could get there, you wouldn't be able to make a draw, if I'm not mistaken, because there is no space for you to move the bishop to the last rank, if you see what I mean. So yeah, difficult for black to defend here. In the game, they tried bishop h5 and king e5, and black ran out of moves here. But king takes d4. Yeah, king takes d4 is also fine at move 2. I hope you mean at move 2. You can also play like where are we? f4. You can also play king takes d4. I don't like this by principle because you're forced to play g5, but it works because you're just in time to avoid black's blockade. You're just in time to play here king e5, and if king g6, you have the move bishop e7, and after bishop g4. No, I don't think this works, right? This doesn't work. No, now it's a draw. Now we have firmly blocked white's pawns. This is what we should avoid. But I think there was a way in which you could make this work. No, king takes d4 is probably a bad idea. Yeah. Right. So so we had one student who got it wrong. Yeah, okay. Such accidents happen. So actually this is very, very, I didn't think it was so bad here, but actually this throwaway is half a point because we're not able to push f5, right? Or did I get it wrong? I think I got it wrong. We have to start with anyone who understands this better than me. I think we're still winning, right? We play f5. Yeah, so it's probably okay. Yeah, nobody got it wrong. Okay, everything is in order again. But I do think it's nicer the way Shankland played. Just f5, just to move that pawn to f5 from the very beginning. So yeah, which is the bad move? By now you know. This is the lesson about materialism and anti-materialism. This would be an awful blunder because now definitely black is able to create the blockade that they were looking for. White will never be able to win this endgame because the bishop will come to f5. It will control this long diagonal, so white can never win. But by the way, if you have this kind of endgame, please remember what we were saying. If your opponent has two pawns like this, let's see, e5 and d5. I don't know if I can. Could I maybe? Let's see if I can make this work. If we bring up this position, let's see here, something like this. Let's see if I can improvise here a little. So let's say we have this position. Let's see. I should play black to move next. Did I play black? Can I move the bishop? Can I move my pieces? Yeah, I can move my pieces. So anyone, what should black play here in order to make a draw? Which is the correct place for the bishop? Anyone? Bishop d3? I don't think so. I think you lose the game if you play like that. I'll then play e6. Yeah, most people knew about this. Now you're lost, I think. This is not the right angle. Now I can move away my bishop, and I'll put the bishop the other way, right? And I'll bring in the king. So yeah, that's not the right way to go. So Hacker Guru says bishop e5, Tori Chess says bishop a6. Exactly, that's the way to play. So this is what I was trying to say. You should always try to put the bishop on the diagonal where it controls both pawns. And you should make sure that you have one rank for your bishop, right? If I play some move, if I try to create Zugzwang here, you should be able to play. If I play something like, let's say, king g5, it's important that you have the move bishop d7. Not bishop e5 because, yeah, bishop e5 is also correct, Tori. You can also play that, yeah, and you just bring the bishop to d7, right? So both are fine. Yeah. The important thing is to grasp the whole idea. You should not think that, okay, I'm safe because whenever they play e6, I'll just sack my bishop and it's a draw. That's not how it works because white can use their king in clever fashion. They can move away the king this way. On the other hand, if you put your bishop this way, the nice thing about this is that you tie up the white king to the defense of the pawn. So this is good to know. It's not happening in every game with this endgame, but it's good to know. Anyway, this was never about to happen in Sam Shankland's game because already from the very beginning he made sure that he would cross the pawns to the 5th rank. And like we were saying, if you would have the bishop on the other side, I think you're lost because, with the pawn here, I mean, you're lost because you don't have a waiting move. So it's very important to have this waiting move. All right, I'll bring up the last example, but okay, maybe I should still refresh your memory on this one, right? Refresh your memory. Just remember, don't take that pawn. Don't take that pawn. This pawn should wait. This would be horrible mistake, endgame blunder to take that pawn because black is able to create a blockade along the light squares. So please make sure that you start with f4 and quickly put your pawns on the 5th rank. No way in which black can defend now. They can simply not, it's not possible to bring the pieces. Oh, you know, if you play bishop h7, this would be the situation that I was thinking of. So here you can see clearly that if you would be able to play something like, I'm just showing like an example, no? If you're able to put your pieces like this, still you would be lost because you don't have the move bishop i8, right? Bishop i8. You don't have that move. It doesn't exist, that square. So you're lost here, right? Because you end up without moves. I can play something like bishop d2 maybe. I can play bishop h6 and I'm slowly but safely forcing black into some kind of zugzwang. Or I hope so at least. Or what do you guys think? Did I mess it up? I don't think so, right? I can play something like this and then I can play g5. I should just make sure to play g5 when you cannot move the king. Or did this become too complex? Anyone who is still awake, help me out. g5, king f7, bishop h8, says Hacker Guru. All right, so if I play king g8, you play g6, is that so? All right, nice. I like your variation. Yeah, very clever, very clever. All right, this was a nice little twist to this endgame. All right. Yeah, this seems to win. Aha. So black is suffering heavily from this space problem. Okay, nice. Nice little combination. Let's have a look at our, I think it's our last example for today. Yeah, let's have a look at no one less than world champion Magnus Carlsen with white pieces. Let's see if I can bring this up somehow. Our last example. It's the same topic. We are ahead in material. It's an opposite color bishops endgame, but this time we also have rooks on the board. Okay, perhaps you're familiar with this endgame. Some kind of, I think, Caro-Kann structure. We're playing with the white pieces here. I would like to know which is the best way to go here with the white pieces. All right. I'm mostly interested in the plan itself. Which plan do you think we should use here? So I'll only ask you for 2 moves in this position. So 130. Yeah, I would say it's a little tricky. Yeah, I think it's a little tricky. Okay, Titan Chess, you got it in 3 seconds. You must be a fan of Magnus Carlsen, like many of us, because you found it so quickly. Hacker Guru, that's right. Tori Chess, that's a reasonable move, but I know what I would play. I'll play rook c8, Tori Chess. Rook c8, and I'll try to push c5. That goes for you also, HDI Chess. I'll try to push c5. That's my main priority here. All right. So Titan Chess and Hacker Guru, so far you're the only ones who found what Carlsen played in the game. Interesting move, which it's proposed by Tori Chess, HDI Chess, JM Chess, Eric, the human person, Google Chess. I guess I would play rook c8 there. Yeah, you can think about that while we're waiting for the rest. I'll play rook c8 and I'll try to push c5 no matter what you play. Okay? If that makes a draw, I don't know, but I guess it's my best try here. Strategic Simmer and Blue Ocean, you played exactly the move that I didn't want you to play. But okay, I understand. You win a pawn. That's good for you. Pikachu, if I play c5, I block you on the dot squares. Do you think you can really win that? I don't think so. That's probably a mistake, your move. And Quoki, I can always play king f8, right, if I like, against that move. Or rook c8, like we were saying. All right, so let's listen to Star Pawn. Okay, Star Pawn, you got it. What would you play with the white pieces here? Exactly. c4, that's what Carlsen played in the game. He didn't think about material so much this time. He knew that he could take a pawn on c6. We'll come back to that. c4 was played in the game. Black played rook c8. You can see what they're going for here. Exactly. Like Titan Chess is saying, we have to fix that weakness on c6. That's the right way of thinking here. We are leaving black with a weakness. Bishop e7, and here there were different ways to play. I guess the most natural move would be to play rook b1. However, Carlsen reckoned that he was in no hurry here, and he just played king f1. Let's see very quickly how the game continued, and then we'll come back to the initial position. So f5, Carlsen simply brings up the king. Zhu Jiangyi tries to create counterplay on the king side. h3, no reason to let him play g4. King g7, let's bring up the king. Please notice that the black rook is tied all the time to the pawn, so that's why they don't play rook b8 or anything. King g6 and rook b1. So basically that's how Carlsen proceeded. He activated his rook. You can see that it would like to go to b7. If black plays rook c7, we could play rook b8 with new tasks for our rook. White has a clear advantage. Please notice that they're never in any hurry to play d5. We should use that move at the very end because it's very useful for us to attack the pawn on c6. Also, you can see that we have this bad majority, right? Like a bad majority, not so easy for black to create passed pawn. Now, what about other moves? Just like Titan Chess is saying, if bishop takes c6, there is rook c8, and after d5, black could play bishop c5. Are you sure about that? By the way, Titan Chess, don't I have d6 here? Or that doesn't matter? Maybe it doesn't matter, no? That's what you mean, right? Because this is not working for black. Aha. So, I think your idea is right, but it's not necessary to play bishop c5. You already blocked the pawn. I think it's better to play rook b8 here. You're right, Titan Chess, maybe king f8, but I think this is even stronger because now actually the black rook is the rook which will become more active in this position. And please notice that if you play something like rook e1, I could play like g6, and if rook e8, it's not obvious at all that white can win this, no? Because it's, after all, opposite colored bishops. I have some kind of nice blockade here, right? I can play bishop c5, and I can play king e7, and it's not so easy for white to progress. So it's a mistake to play bishop takes c6. I think even the engine was saying that it doesn't like this move, even though it cashes in a whole pawn. Simply because black is able to fix the white pawns on, that pawn on the light square. So they have activity. White cannot get in easily the move c4, c5. I can put my rook on b2 maybe and put my bishop on c5 at some point. It will become much more difficult to win here. Which other move were you saying here? Was there any other suggestion? No, I don't think so. d5. Somebody said d5. I'm afraid this is another strategical mistake. I would then play the move c5, right? Yeah, d5 is not a good idea, right? Because now you let me block the whole position, and if rook b1, I guess I could just play rook b8, right? I'm happy to swap rooks here. After all, I'm on the defending side, so if I can get to opposite colored bishops, I should make a draw here. So, yeah, nice move, right? Nice move, fixing pawns. That's a whole story, no? That's a separate subject in endgames. Fix your opponent's pawns on the right color so that you can attack them later on. We have to play this as soon as possible. Somebody said rook b1 here. I forgot who said that. It's a reasonable move to play rook b7, but I think black could play then rook c8. Is that so? Well, that was what I was thinking about. I don't know if this works, but at least we are creating some counterplay here. Is that so? Or would you like to play rook b8? Is that possible? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. This is probably winning for white. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll bring in the king and we might be able to push those pawns forward. Is that so? Yeah, interesting question. I don't know. But in any case, much more clear-cut what Carlson played. C4, before black has a chance to play c5, we fix that pawn as a weakness, and black will be tied up for the rest of the game to that pawn, and we can simply bring up our king like Carlson did to protect his pawn, and later on play rook b1. So very important not to be greedy in the endgame. Don't take that pawn. It will give black some chances of survival because he's able to force the move d5, else the pawn hangs. So if d5, white is having difficulties in progressing here. All right, I guess that's it for today. Are you tired, or would you like one last example? Maybe we should call it today. One more, says Titan Chess. All right, so let's bring up one of the most typical endgames with rooks and minor pieces. This is a typical case. It happens all the time. Complex endgames. Here we have a game with white pieces. Tari, the former under 20 world champion, and playing black is Mendonça. So here we will play with the white pieces. You can see that it's a complex position. Material is equal. However, a lot of things are going on here. You can see that white has a passed pawn, for example. The b file is under dispute. Black is attacking this pawn, and so on. So how do you think white should continue in this complex endgame? Yeah, this will definitely be our last quiz for today. White to play and try to get some advantage. I'll say try because with the perfect play, black would be able to save this game. But they didn't make it in the game. So, okay, up to you guys. Try to find the best way in which white can continue to fight for a win here. Hint, anti-materialism, okay? I get the point, Eric and Hacker Guru. You were very close, but you can improve that variation. If you play in that way, I thought I looked at this the other day. Yeah, what would happen in that case? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think I have a little tactical trick there, Eric, Hacker Guru, Aditya, Tori Chess. I think I can play bishop d4, and if you take on d4 and on f2, I'll play e3. But it's the right spirit. Okay, we have a whole bunch of winners here. HDI Chess, JM Chess, Alg, and Titan Chess. That's right. That's exactly how the game went. It's not really winning for white, but it's putting black into some difficult situations. Okay, Quacky, you got it. Nice work. So Eric, Hacker Guru, Aditya, Tori Chess, and Mega Charles Rex, you were on the right track. However, I think I have this pretty move bishop d4 so that I can play e3, right? Else, this was a good try in the right direction. All right, interesting move by Star Pawn. What would I play against that? Yeah, good question. What about rook b1, Star Pawn? Maybe I can pin your bishop, right? Is that making sense? I'll give away the pawn on a7, right? Okay, so let's listen to Algi. You're on, Algi. Which is your solution here with white pieces? Aha, so Alg doesn't spend time on protecting this pawn. They just give it away. It was tempting to play here. Sorry, just to see this very quickly. Rook f1 is very tempting, but it seems black has this pretty resource, no? Bishop d4 to go e3. And if bishop takes, pawn takes, they can still not take because e3 is coming up. Yeah, some cheap tactics there favoring black. So it's much better to play like Alg is saying, rook fp1. After all, this is an open file. We should fight for the open file. And after bishop takes c3, king takes, rook takes, rook takes. Black was already faced with some difficulties here, because rook b7 is coming up, and also white has a dangerous plan. Like Titan Chess is saying, the knight is kind of stuck on f2. So here they made a bad choice, you know. Yeah, the knight can get trapped, exactly, James says. Here they made a bad choice, because if you're materialistic, you would say, oh no, they want to play rook b7, I should not lose this pawn. So in the game, they played the move rook c8, okay? So that they could meet rook b7 by rook c7. You're right, Titan Chess. Aha, you can save a pawn to lose. Yeah, right. You're right here, like Titan Chess and Hacker Guru and JM Chess in the chat. Exactly. The knight is never lost. That's not a problem. Look at what happens here. Okay, who can play white here? Anyone? Titan Chess, maybe. You can play the white pieces here. What would white play now? Now this plan does not succeed anymore. So what would you play? Exactly. Now we go for this knight, to attack the knight. Please notice that in this structure, the knight would just love to go to d6. That would be a great square for the knight in this structure. However, it's not possible to get there. In the game, they played king d6. You can continue Titan Chess. Yeah, this is very simple. The knight has only one square. It can, of course, not go to h1, then it would be trapped. So they had to play knight e3. So question for you, exactly. I don't even have to ask you. Aha. Please notice that we want the rook endgame. We don't want any other endgame. Okay, also there is knight c1, that's true. So we just take, and it's funny because when I saw this position the first time, I thought that black should have reasonable chances for a draw. But the more you look at this, the more you understand that it's almost impossible to save black here. It's simply not a good structure in a rook endgame, this structure. It's a good structure when you have some minor piece, bishop or knight on d6, or maybe some piece on d7. Protected passer and control of open file. Yeah, that's right, Titan Chess. I mean, I can also play for the open file, but as you can see, it's not the same thing. The passer is extremely strong. White can sometimes even consider some, pawn endgame. If they can create some progress on the king side, if they can leave black with like one single pawn, they can actually consider to swap the rooks. However, it's not needed here because you can also attack this pawn. So anyone, what would you play with white here? Any smart way in which we can attack both these pawns? Anyone? Maybe a combined attack at those two pawns? Is that possible? Yeah, Titan Chess, you got it. Rook a3, we attack this guy. After rook e7, if black continues with passive play, we can just play rook a6. Exactly. So it's interesting. Now it's interesting that it looked kind of drawish, but already black is dead lost here because the next move is rook c6, and then white would have two passed pawns, connected pawns, right? So yeah, sad case for poor black in this game. They played rook c7, and after rook b8, white took the opportunity to activate the rook. f5, it's not easy to give black any good advice here. h4, gain some space. g6, rook e8, here we go. Nasty move coming up. Rook e6. Black avoided that, but where do you think the white rook went now? Anyone? Yeah, the ending might be won as soon as you have created progress on the king side. Exactly, Hacker Guru. So now the time is right. If you play here rook c7, you win with white because you already made enough progress. You can just take and you can just walk in the king. Black is dead lost because they're not able to create a passed pawn on their side. Yeah, you just play like this, you take king g5 and so on. King is too far away. Yeah, and I mean also the king is busy with the d pawn. So yeah, impossible to save black in this endgame. They played in the game rook e4. It's the right spirit, of course, active defense, but it's just a little too late. White went on to win with their connected passed pawns. However, this was not the end of the story. Okay, you already concluded that bishop e2 is the best move for white. Just give up the pawn so that we can quickly grab the open file. Please notice that black was not able to take first because it's unfortunately check on g4, right? So knight takes f2, rook b1, and I just want to show you where black could have saved the game. It's here. Here is the moment. So black played, you could say, in materialistic fashion, rook c8 to keep everything defended. That was not the right choice. The right choice would have been to go for active defense. All right, Titan Chess says e3. I like the way you're thinking, I like your way of thinking, but okay, I'll probably pick up that pawn. And you still have some issues, no? I know you can give me a check, but I can approach with my king. I think there is a stronger move for black. E3 is waste, says Strategic. Yeah, maybe. So there is a better way to play here. If you play in a very dynamic way, you will find out that black is not in trouble here. But you have to play in a very dynamic way. All right, this is our last quiz for today. Try to find dynamic way to continue with black, anti-materialistic way in which black can keep the balance here. Keeping the balance, that's black's main goal here. Last quiz for today. Maybe a slightly difficult one, but okay. This is important whenever you're sitting with difficult endgames like this. Okay, JM Chess, you got it basically, no? You can perhaps improve the move order, but that's exactly how you should proceed here. The right way of thinking. We're speaking so much about passed pawns for white, but what about black's passed pawns then? Hacker Guru, that's right. Yeah. I wouldn't give up the f4 pawn though, but it's the right spirit, what you're saying. It's the right spirit. So, yeah, interesting move. 93 also by Toriches. RZ 2018, Rook F8. Yeah, that's exactly the right spirit also. I guess there are several ways in which we can progress here. But I think the most precise one would be the one proposed by JM Chess and Titan Chess. All right. Yeah. So, Google Chess, the human person and Quacky, you just went back with the king. So why did you do that? Isn't that a bit passive? I'll play King D2 and King E3. Right? Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Mega Charles Rex. I'll give it to you very soon. The move. Just very quickly. If you play King C7, I think this is on the wrong track. I'll play King D2 and I'll play King E3. It's basically like in the game. Or what am I missing? You cannot play Rook B8, by the way. If somebody thought about this, it's not working, right? I have this tactical trick, cheap tactics to my advantage. So let's listen to Mega Charles Rex. Okay, Mega, what was your idea? Sorry. Yeah, I went back. Sorry. Exactly. Just push the pawns, right? We don't care about losing a pawn on G7 or A7. We're interested in activity, right? So now if King D2 trying to hit the knight, it doesn't make sense anymore, right? Because we have the other pawn to help us. Exactly, to play E3 and so on. So I can pick up this pawn and you can continue with the same business, F4. So some people were saying here, for example, Rook F8, and others were saying King E5. I think all of those are fine, no? It's the same idea. But sooner or later, we should probably push the pawn. This is a good moment. Please notice that after Rook F7, I'm not forced to trade pawns. I can keep these pawns, right? Exactly, Mega Charles Rex. That's the right move. So here you can see the game is still very tricky. I'm not saying that black is better or anything, but it's tricky for white also, because whenever the rook moves away, what do you think black would play, Mega Charles Rex? What move would you consider here? Which is the most active choice here? Exactly, you can play Rook F8 or perhaps even Rook G8, exactly, targeting the pawn on G2. No matter what happens here, I know we're a pawn down, but we have a lot of activity. Don't think of a move like Bishop F1. This would be a bad mistake. Mega Charles Rex will punish me here. Right, Mega? You won't miss a chance like this, right? Oh, I see. But I think that is a better move, right? Anyone? Or is this the best we can get? Oh, knight G4. Yeah, but why don't you go the other way, right? This looks very nice. Aha, Quacky, you got it. And then we play knight E3. This must be very dangerous for white, right? What I like about this variation is that actually, whenever they give check, where do you think the black king would go? Exactly. So now we're speaking activity. So this is getting worse and worse for white, right? Bishop E2. Let's finish off this variation. Let's see if we can finish it off in a pretty way. Black is winning, says Strategic Simmer. Yeah, okay, I'll just... No, but this doesn't make sense anyway. Yeah. I was thinking that we could play beautifully and just play F3 and go for mate. But okay, you're right. We can just pick up the pawn also. Yeah, so it's... Yeah, white is completely busted here. So you can see what happened. Black activated all their pieces in a very nice way. They didn't care about losing one or two pawns in the way. However, in the game, unfortunately, they played in a very passive way. They played Rook C8, and Tari showed that by playing here with white pieces, King D2, followed by king d3, he was able to get into a rook endgame where black was suffering from their bad structure. Aha. If you strategic simmer says, if you calculate it, then f3 is best in the land we just saw. Okay, I'm curious to find out what you mean. f5, rook b7, king d6, rook takes, f4, rook f7, king e5. Please go ahead, strategic simmer. What did you mean? Not here. Where then? Where? What if black never takes f2 and goes knight e5? That's another subject. No, if you can't tell me strategic simmer, I cannot go to the position where d6 happens. Oh, but that's in the very end, right? That's at the very end of this variation. We were looking at king e5, rook takes. We were saying rook g8. We were saying, this is what we said, right? Or did I get it wrong? I think I got it wrong, right? This is not how it went. Yeah, this is probably not how it. Anyway, I think we're already about to finish now. I think it's time is up already. So it's clear that here black has great chances. On the other hand, in the game, they played in a very passive way. And they unfortunately lost the game because they didn't think about this active plan. They played passively instead, and white was able to win the game by bringing in the king. And please notice that at the beginning, white had no issues whatsoever giving up the f2 pawn. They were very happy to play bishop e2, quickly bringing all their pieces to the action. That's what anti-materialistic thinking is about. All right, thanks a lot for today's lesson. Thanks, and see you next time. Merry Christmas to everyone. Bye-bye.